bring things back here. The big question right now, and one of the things I think we look at now with the future of this lineup is Lars Nootbaar again last night goes 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Down to hitting 230 on the season for the Cardinals. Alec Burleson in the month of June, 12 for 34.
Yeah.
And he is hitting really well right now.
He was arguably their best hitter for long stretches last year. I think he kind of got pushed to the back a little bit when Contreras went to first base and Walker was going to play every day, and the emergence of Victor Scott and have Nootbaar in there. He was kind of the odd man out, right? Especially when Herrera was the DH all of a sudden. Then what are you going to do with Alec Burleson? And I mean, to Burleson's credit, he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to hit," and then you got to figure out what you're going to do. Which is
what he did last year too.
That's
exactly what he did last season. Was all year you were looking for that consistent bat all season. And Alec Burleson's like, guys, I'm right here. Yeah. Like it's me. I'm here for you to do that.
Yeah.
And whether it was DHing or spelling Goldschmidt at first and everything else, he's like, guys, I can do that. And they ended up being your consistent right fielder and your number 2 hitter.
Yeah, I was gonna say up at the top of the lineup for a long time. And there was a stretch when Wynn was 1 and he was 2, and that's when they were playing their best ball of the year. And that's because they were hot. It's not because they're necessarily always going to be like that. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy that, as you look at Nootbaar's issues at the plate, and they're kind of significant in the moment.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because I mean, look, we've talked about this. I think with Nootbaar at the top of the lineup, when he's producing, that's the Cardinals' strongest lineup. I think with him in that spot, right? But when he's not producing, I'm looking at his last 19 games. He's got a 160 average, a 259 on base percentage out of the leadoff spot. You can't have that. I think when you look at the struggles that the team has had lately, I mean, that certainly plays a role in it, because it's not just that he's leading off the game, but your leadoff batter, and Bernie talked about this in his show today. I mean, this is the guy that you give the most at bats to.
Yeah.
Right. You say, we have one game, we have 27 outs, and we're going to give one guy the most opportunities. Right. And right now, it's a guy that has a 259 on base percentage in his last 19 games. That's not great.
No.
And so you start to try to figure out. And I know there's lineup construction, there's ways to do things, and but that's even changed. Like you're used to be like the number 4 or 5 hitters were your power hitters, and now you've seen that go into the number 3 spot. And even the Yankees have hit Judge at number 2 a lot, because you want to get your best hitters the most opportunities. And Nootbaar has been getting those opportunities, and he hasn't done much with them over the last month or so. And it's kind of an issue.
I'm looking here to see right now, just in regards, if anything was mentioned yesterday. I was off yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to see any updates on Brendan Donovan and his toe going into yesterday's game. So I don't know if you saw anything yesterday.
I mean, he's a guy that he's been very good at the point where he is in the lineup. But with the emergence of Herrera and with Contreras, I mean, you can, and I know you love, not you, but the Cardinals love Donovan in that 3 spot, because then you can go like Wynn to we go righty, lefty, right. But I mean, if you have Wynn in the number 2 spot and then Donovan lead off, then you've Herrera 3, Contreras 4. You don't want 3 lefties, but maybe you put Burleson in there somewhere at number 4 spot and put Contreras 5. I don't know if I like that so much. It's one of those things, as you talk it through, you're like, well,
so here's the thing. This is why I'm asking about Brendan Donovan, and I'm kind of looking at this right now, that they're saying right now that Donovan's saying it's not going to be an IL stint. Right. Again, he is one of the top hitters in baseball.
Yeah,
he is. Again, if you are, I think right now, if you're going to stick with this left right stuff, it's got to be Win at 1, Donovan 2, Herrera 3. Like it has to be that.
If that's what you,
and then then Contreras 4, Burleson 5, Arenado 6.
Yeah, if that's the goal, if that's the hard goal, it has to be right, left. But and that's why I talk about the ideal lineup construction is with Nootbaar in the leadoff spot, because then you can put Donovan in 3, and then you can put Contreras and Herrera, because you could have 2 righties in a row. That's not a big deal. You just don't want to.
Then if that's the case, then Donovan leads off, and then you go Wynn and Herrera.
But then you don't have the. But then so you're
Burleson.
dropping,
I mean, the way Burleson's hitting
so
right now,
Contreras to 5. I mean, that's the question.
And that's what you had Herrera hitting 5 for a long time when he was the best hitter on your team.
Yeah, but he was still proving that he was the best hitter on the team.
If it's a left-right situation that you have,
yeah,
does Burleson Contreras matter at 4-5?
Yeah,
if Burleson's hitting the way that he is, does it really matter who's hitting 4-5? Does it really matter who's hitting 3-4-5 if Herrera, Burleson, and Contreras are all hot at the same time?
If they're all hot at the same time,
if they're all hitting the way that they're hitting right now,
no.
does that really matter to you right now? Those 3.
I just wonder sometimes if, and again, it's all relative, but if Burleson has the home run consistency to be in that spot where maybe Contreras does,
right?
That's a thing, and I don't know how important that is. It's just a question, But I think, and that's when you get to the right, left, right. That's I mean, and that's why Nootbaar at number 1, when he's consistent, makes things flow the way that they should. But again, if he's hitting the way that he is or not hitting the way that he is, then you have to start to think about, okay, well, how else we can configure this?
So all of this too completely gets blown up when Jordan Walker comes back. All of this. I mean, so think about it. When Jordan Walker comes back, we're talking about Lars Nootbaar right now, dropping him from the leadoff spot to maybe 7th. If Alec Burleson's hitting and Jordan Walker comes back, who sits?
Good question.
And then it becomes Lars Nootbaar, right? Which drastically
impacts the defense.
God, does it ever?
Yeah.
And then in a roundabout way, that's where Siani staying on this roster comes back to where by Barrero, see ya. We don't need you anymore. Barely knew you were on the team to begin with these past few weeks. And it becomes a case of you are going to tell Victor Scott, listen, man, get ready to run, get ready to shift towards left because Alec Burleson's out there. And
he's not horrible.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. He's very athletic, I would think, for his size. But what I'm saying is that you're asking Victor Scott to maybe cover a little more ground, but late in games, then that's where Siani comes into play there.
Or Nootbaar coming back in too.
That's where maybe Nootbaar pinch hits in a situation late in the game. And then against a tough righty, that's where maybe Nootbaar hits for a Walker in that case.
Yeah, are you bringing in Siani for Walker or Burleson when they've hit in the 8th inning?
Or then they get on base
so they're not coming back.
Honestly, I mean, it's a case of or if one of those guys gets on in the 6th or 7th inning, if Burleson or Walker get on in the 6th or 7th inning, and it's a tight game,
maybe
tie game, 1-run game, either way, Siani goes into run. And then you have him out there, but then you have Nootbaar on the bench
to pinch it for Siani.
To pinch it for Siani when it comes back around.
I'm always hesitant about pinch hit or bringing in defensive replacements or pinch runners when there's a likely chance of that spot in the order is coming again.
You're adding his legs and you're adding the glove out there for 2 to 3 innings until that spot comes back around.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the Cardinals need Nootbaar to be the Nootbaar he was the first month if they're going to be a team that's going to contend.